This is the Hollywood Outsider. I am your host, Aaron Peterson. With me today are my co-host, Justin McCumber.
Howdy do.
Always the howdy do. And Brian Williams.
Hello.
We are an entertainment and TV, movie, whatever you want to call it, podcast. Before we get to the nitty gritty, what have you guys been doing? Anything exciting?
Not much.
Does playing nonstop Batman, Uncharted, and Gears count as something exciting?
That's pretty exciting.
It's fun for me.
It does on Scott's podcast.
Exactly. If you listen to the Official Thread podcast, I hear they talk about that stuff quite a bit.
Well, between slashing shows from my DVR recording list and trying to blast through some video games, I've been, ass on couch quite a bit lately.
That's fair enough. I went and saw the Green Bay Packer game with Mr. Scott Clark, actually. So...
And was a fun time had by all?
It was fun. Scott was, I don't know if you guys will be amused by this, but he was drunk. Yeah.
Shocked.
Taken aback. He was intoxicated. In fact, I'll share one quick story and then we'll get on with the podcast. So, Scott got inebriated pretty much at the very start of the game. And,
did he bring it with him?
Yes, and he drank the 3/4 of a bottle of rum before we walked into the stadium. That's a true story.
Wow.
Yeah. But don't worry. It's not a problem. So
it never is.
No. So we took 12 steps to the stadium. And while we're waiting to get into the gate, we're talking, Scott, he's just one of those guys that talks to people no matter where he is. He's just the most friendly guy on the planet, right? So he's talking to this couple, and funny as hell, we're having a great time. And he says to the lady, he turns to her, and he goes, "You know how I know I'm really drunk?" And she goes, "How?" "Because I'm finding you really attractive." I couldn't make that up if I tried. The look on her face was a mixture of pain, years of suffering, the realization that she'll never be hot. And it was just, I didn't know what to do. I was just
she's so unattractive that she looks like she should just be handing people beers.
No, she was decidedly average. She was decidedly average. But
he was just being an ass.
Yes. And then he tried to backtrack, which when you're drunk, you just can't do. So he's like, "No, what I meant." And she's like, "Yeah, I know what you meant with beer goggles. It takes beer goggles for me to be attractive. I got it." So
these are rum goggles, bitch.
So funny.
Nice.
Oh, well, with that, we are movie and television entertainment podcast. Each week we talk about the newest in movie and TV news. We're going to talk about the new upcoming film and DVD releases. We'll review any recent releases. This week we're going to review Immortals. Each week we talk about a new topic that's catching ours or our listeners' attention. This week we're going to keep it kind of simple, and we're just going to talk about Thanksgiving a little bit, since that wonderful holiday is upcoming. We have our own little mini trivia game called Stump the Hoe, where one podcaster tries to stump the other podcasters. This week it's my turn. Hoe represents Hollywood Outsider, not actual prostitutes. And at the very end, we like to review a flashback DVD, kind of an unknown or obscure little film that's a recommendation from one of our hosts or our listener. And this week, it's Brian's turn, so it's probably going to be Deliverance, let's be honest.
Can you figure another movie? Because that joke is getting old.
No, I can't. It's easy, just like your mom. So let's jump right into it. Let's go to movie news.
You mean like your mom?
Let's start with movie news. We'll stop with mom jokes now. And I promise no more Deliverance jokes ever again, Brian.
We know better than that, but let's continue.
I never said I was a truthful fucker. Tim Burton is in talks for the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children film adaptation. Have you guys read the books? Justin, you're a huge book reader. Have you read the books?
I'm a book writer. I'm unfortunately not as much of a book reader, especially as I used to be.
I lay the words down. I don't pick them up.
Well, and yet one of the things every writer should be is an avid reader. But ever since I became, the more of a gamer I become, the less of a reader I become. And so I will go into bookstores or I will go on Amazon and I will buy these books, put them on my shelf going, I really look forward to reading that, and then never reading them.
So you're like that mechanic with the broken down car?
Yes. I keep saying I'm going to rebuild it. I'm going to bring it back to, its glory days. And I don't. I've seen this novel, and the cover, it's a really interesting, brilliant little cover. The story, the premise of the story sounds like a lot of fun. I just have yet to get it. But knowing that Tim Burton's going to be doing the film, unfortunately, makes me hesitant to ever want to see this film.
Really? You're not a Tim Burton fan?
I used to be a big Tim Burton fan, you know, back in the early days when he was doing Beetlejuice and Batman and Edward Scissorhands and Mars Attacks and even Sleepy Hollow. But except, you know, from the year 2000 on, aside from Big Fish, I haven't liked a fucking thing he's done. Planet of the Apes sucked. I thought his Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was just a pale comparison to the original. I didn't like Corpse Bride. I didn't even want to see Sweeney Todd. Alice in Wonderland for me was complete dreck. So unfortunately, Tim Burton, who used to be really high on my list of interesting directors, has plummeted quickly with just a slew of movies that I either disliked or was ambivalent about, except for Big Fish. That one stands as a lone, you know, after 2000 example of where I think he did a really good job.
Well, the story involves Jacob. It's a 16-year-old whose childhood was filled with stories about his grandfather, telling him about some unusual kids in an orphanage. And there's various characters, I guess, at this orphanage, and the stories are about those kids. So it's very odd, weird, quirky. I guess quirky is the right word. It's kind of what the stories are. So I am still a Tim Burton fan, although I do kind of agree to some degree with Justin. I think he's gone a little bit too far. You know what I mean? I think he's fallen off the whimsical path, and now he's just trying a little too hard to be quirky. Where it used to just come in naturally. It flowed more. It felt more like it was flowing. Now it feels like he's forcing it.
Yeah, I mean, it felt more honest, you know, like this was his own childhood nature, especially like something like Edward Scissorhands. You really could feel this is his childhood kind of whimsy being brought into an adult kind of a story and medium. And now it's just like whatever the fuck he can possibly think of just gets put on the screen and nobody's saying, hey, pull it back, or, you know, what are you doing?
Is this going to be a live action or
yeah, live action?
It's live action.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that sounds interesting. I'll give it a shot. So
okay.
I mean, he's been pretty busy. He's got Dark Shadows. He's got the longer, no pun intended, version of Frankenweenie, his short movie from about 20 years ago.
Which that was a product of its time. I think that's one he should just let go. Honestly, what do I know? I'm obviously not making it in Hollywood. So the next piece of news: Kristen Stewart was actually offered the lead role of, is it Key or Kai?
If I'm remembering correctly, it's Kai, but it's been
Akira.
A few years since I've seen the movie.
From Akira. Because I can't say any name of nationality without doing the accent. So
I think it's interesting that so far there has yet to be one Asian actor or actress cast in this movie. Not to say that because the source material comes from Japan, then every actor involved has to be from Japan, but so far I have yet to see one Asian actor.
That's a good point. But
I don't.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Kristen Stewart is quickly becoming the female Jeremy Renner or Shia LaBeouf right now. So
the young go-to. Yeah, she is. She's kind of becoming the new Olivia Wilde, and Olivia Wilde's not old yet.
Right. She's, you know, if you had to pick two from each side, it would definitely be those two, and then the Shia and Renner on the other.
Well, let me ask you: is Kai from Akira? I mean, obviously, we've talked about this a few weeks ago when it was announced, but is it a very gloomy character? Because that's what Kristen Stewart is to me. She's not exactly somebody that breathes
kind
joy.
Of. I mean, I think just about every character in Akira is gloomy to a certain degree. It's a very dark story.
Well, that'll be a fun movie. Okay.
It's not for everybody, but I think everybody should at least check it out.
We'll be talking a little bit more about Kristen Stewart and one of her roles in a little bit. This came to light from Mr. Justin McCumber that Harry Potter director David Yates has confirmed that a big screen Doctor Who is in the works. And this is the important news, that they are starting from scratch and a new doctor is going to have to be chosen. I don't know what any of that means. What does that mean, Justin?
All right. Try and keep this simple. Within the Doctor Who universe, I'm sure even people who don't watch the show understand that there have been different Doctor Who's throughout the lifespan of the TV show.
Yes, I know
The
that.
reason for that is because whenever the Doctor gets wounded to a certain point, his body regenerates. When his body regenerates, he looks different. He'll act different. It's as though with a new body comes a new personality, but there is shared memories across these bodies. So it would make sense that if they're going to do, a film, that they would want to do it with a new Doctor. I don't begrudge them that fact at all. What really bothers me, though, is when I was reading the article, David Yates was talking about, having to completely, revamp what Doctor Who is to make it into a movie. And I personally have to call bullshit on that. They do Doctor Who movies. They're not on the theater, they're on television, but they do one-off, stories that take place across one, long kind of a movie-ish episode that gets aired. So they do this. Mm-hmm. I don't mind them doing a new Doctor. I think that's fine. What my wish, if David Yates were to call me and say, "Hey, Justin, what do you think I should do?"
I'm sure that's coming.
I'm sure he's about to as soon as he hears this episode.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, he won't even have to call me because he'll hear it right now. Yates, here's what I would do. Figure out who they're going to cast to be the next Doctor Who for whenever Matt Smith, who's the current Doctor, whenever his run ends, have, the final episode of that season when the new Doctor is revealed. Between that season ending and the next season's opening, slip your film in there. Start filming it now. Get it ready for it. Have this movie be the bridge because usually that's what they'll do. They'll have a new Doctor at the end of a season. They'll do some kind of a Christmas movie or something with the new Doctor. And then when the next season starts, you got the new Doctor and you're off and running. It'll change occasionally, but that seems to be my impression of how things have gone. Do the movie, have a new Doctor, and then maybe at the end of that movie, that Doctor changes into whoever the next show one's going to be. Or let the one in the movie continue on. X-Files did it so right, in my opinion, when they did that first film. They put it out in between seasons. Mm-hmm. The story covered what happened between those seasons. And when the next season started, it started based on all these other things. I thought it was a really wise move. I would love to see them do it as something that would fit within the timeline of the TV show. To try and fit something new in, I think you're going to waste screen time with a whole lot of explanation that you don't need to do. And I think you're potentially really going to piss off the biggest audience for this movie, and that's diehard Doctor Who fans. We'll see how they do. David Yates obviously is a talented guy. I thought what he's done with Harry Potter was great. I'm just worried that they're going to shit on the existing fans in order to make some whiz-bang wow movie that they don't have to go that far. Doctor Who's already pretty cinematic. It already has a history. Go with it. Don't reinvent the wheel when you got a perfectly good wheel.
Okay. And that's from a diehard Doctor Who fan. I don't have anything to add because I've never actually seen the show. Brian, have you seen it?
I've watched probably 2 or 3 episodes since they rebooted it. Mm-hmm. What was that, 2005 or 4 or something like that?
Yeah, around there.
I've seen, I think, probably about 1 episode per new Doctor.
Okay. And do you like it? Is it innovative for you, or doesn't really do anything for you?
I mean, it doesn't really do anything for me. Mm-hmm. It's there. I know there's a lot going on in those episodes that I just don't understand because I haven't seen too many of them. But they were mildly entertaining, even not knowing the first thing about it.
Wow, that's some faint praise right there. They were mildly entertaining. Doctor Who, unfortunately, suffers from a couple of things, and this is maybe too TV-ish. I'll be really brief.
Okay.
One, it's British, and I think a lot of British isms have a very hard time traveling across the pond onto our shores.
I agree with that.
But that's not my thing with it.
Two, it is heavily serialized. If you're not watching the show almost from the beginning, you're not going to get nearly as much out of it as you would if you had. I didn't watch the show until it got rebooted with Christopher Eccleston playing the Doctor for 1 season and then David Tennant for 3 seasons, and now Matt Smith has been in it for 2. So I started it with Christopher Eccleston. I didn't have any trouble getting caught up. They did a really good job of bringing people up to speed and moving on. But if you don't watch every episode, you're going to get a bit lost. If you don't care for British style of humor and the way they do genre shows, you're probably not going to enjoy it either. And the Doctor's a quirky character. He's not going to please everybody.
Okay. That's fair enough. Well, if you're a Doctor Who fan, then get ready because they're going to be making a movie at some point. And they'll probably Americanize it and fuck everything up. Next piece of news, this I don't really care about, but I figure for all the ladies out there, you'd like to know two things. One, Bradley Cooper is the sexiest man alive.
Yes, he is.
Alive. Alive. And I want to tell you...
Off a slab of that.
Wow. I'm personally offended because they took my name out of the running at the very last minute, but that's beside the point.
Sons of bitches.
I'm telling you. I'll put up a still. You'll see the comparison.
Really? Because I got the phone call saying that I just barely missed it. So
did you really get the phone call?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like number 4, but it was a close 4th. So I'm shooting for number 3 next year.
Well,
baby steps.
Next year I'm going for sexiest man ever. Ever in the universe, not just in America, ever.
Well, I'm sure in your wife's magazine
that's never going to happen in hers either. No. You want to hear a quick joke? One time when I was going to watch a football game, my wife, as I was walking out the door, hey, enjoy watching my favorite Aaron. And I'm a Packer fan in case you didn't get that joke. So, yeah, I'm not even in the top 2. But Bradley Cooper is he's Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback.
Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback.
Right. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So,
sorry.
Bradley Cooper.
Football is a game played.
I gotcha.
It looks a lot like soccer, but Americanized.
Suck my balls. Let's move along.
Okay. Well, Bradley Cooper is the sexiest man alive, so you guys can all rest assured that finally it's been decided, and Matt Damon has been put down. Also, and a little bit more interesting for me news, Brad Pitt says that he is retiring after 3 years. He said he's going to give acting 3 more years, then he's going to call it a day, basically. Maybe have some more babies. I'm kind of a Brad Pitt fan.
The 17 he's got is not enough right now.
Yeah, I know, right? They're running low. They want to adopt all of China now. I'm kind of a fan of Brad Pitt, but not really. I mean, I like his work, but I don't really... If he retires and he never made another movie, I don't think I'd be hurt. I don't know. Are you guys worried about this?
I wouldn't say I would be hurt if he retired, but I do like Brad Pitt. I do enjoy his movies, and as a person, I like him. He seems down to earth. He's really a lot like George Clooney in that he's that approachable. Yeah, he's this megastar, but he's also approachable.
Right.
Some of the things I've heard about it, where people have met him, said that they've backed that up. Said that he is real outgoing, real personable, real easy to talk to. So, like I said, I enjoy his movies. So I don't want to say I'm crushed to see him, but I do hate to, I do kind of hate it that he's not making movies. Yeah. So.
I honestly think it's one of those things where I'll believe it when I see it, because I can't tell you how many actors throw that out there. You know what? I'm going to retire in a couple of years, blah, 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 blah. And then you realize all those damn kids cost a lot of money, and even though he makes $20 million a movie, he still needs a check. So
I just understand why artists want to put expiration dates on what they do. I mean, if he's tired, all right, take a break. Say, you know what, guys, I'm taking a sabbatical. I got to go do some shit. Maybe in a couple years I'll come back. Same thing with Kevin Smith, saying that after he does his next movie, Hit Someone, which now apparently is going to be split into 2 films, he's quitting directing. It's like, why put something out there like that there's a good chance you're not going to actually follow through? Smith, I can believe a little more, because he's got apparently a lot of other shit he wants to do. Mm-hmm. I can kind of see him not directing anymore, but doing more writing, doing radio stuff, blah, blah, blah. But Brad Pitt, I mean, why wouldn't the guy want to have a career where 10 years, 20 years from now, he's playing some dapping dasher dude? Why put this out there only to have to go back on it? Or don't say anything. Just fade away for a little bit and then come back strong.
Yep. Which I think will end up happening anyway.
Yep.
It just seems like a cry for attention.
Which he doesn't need.
No.
If it was anybody else, I probably would call it that. I'd flat out say, you know what, this is just a cry for attention. But it's Brad Pitt, and I think he's got plenty. So if he's saying it, he's probably thinking it. But I don't know if that's actually going to happen. That's enough of that. He is a 2-time sexiest man alive, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
Are you okay, Justin? Because I'm pretty sure you're in the voting process at this point. All right.
He's a damn good-looking man.
Next piece of news. This is a big one for us technophiles. Ultraviolet, which is Warner Brothers' way
Not the shitty movie?
Yeah. No, not the shitty movie. Is the Warner Brothers' way of curtailing piracy. Basically what it is it's a way to stream movies online. It's your direct copy, which currently they will buy a Blu-ray and whatnot with a direct copy that they can add to their iTunes account, and then they can download it to their iTouch or iPhone and watch it on the go. Well, Warner Brothers wants to stop that, so they basically are making Ultraviolet, which is another way to do it, but it's not quite the same thing, and it's not compatible with your Apple device. So it's causing a lot of flack, and a lot of people are not happy about it. Now, Justin, you specifically wanted to address this, so I'm going to let you take it.
Well, I hate it. And I can't say for years, because Blu-ray hasn't been around for years. When you think about it, 10 years has gone by. But one of the things that I really loved about Blu-ray was that it was when studios started including a quote-unquote digital copy with so many Blu-rays that are released. And to get the digital copy, you put the DVD in your computer, or you go to a website, you put in a code, and then depending on whether you use iTunes or you use Windows Media Player, it'll pull up, it'll download that copy to your computer, and then you can install that movie on your digital device of whatever you're choosing was. Take it with you. Easy, simple. I have been doing it for years now on iTunes. I love that they're including these so often now. But now the Warner Brothers, they're trying to, I don't know if it's because they don't like iTunes, like maybe they're not getting a cut of whatever they think they should be getting. But now I've gotten 2 movies recently that instead of them coming with a copy that I can get through iTunes, now all of a sudden I have to go to their Ultraviolet fucking site, put in the code, and then watch it through their, through the player. It has none of the convenience of what I've had up till now, and it really, I felt like with the first film, which was Green Lantern, I felt like I've been lied to because it says digital copy on the front, just like every other movie that says digital copy says. If I had looked better and been smarter, I would have noticed on the back that it did not have the iTunes little logo, because usually it will say works with iTunes or compatible with iTunes.
Right.
It doesn't have it.
And I will tell you, I found out about this on accident. I actually got a copy of Green Lantern. I didn't purchase it. I actually won it, surprisingly enough. But I got a copy of it, and I thought the direct copy was the same as every other direct copy that I've gotten. And I'm a big fan of getting those, putting them on my iTouch, and I go, I know nobody's going to believe this, but I'm kind of outdoorsy twice a year. And I go backpacking. Well, I take my iTouch with me, and that's where I will watch a movie while I'm roughing it. Well, I can't do that with this new system. This new system won't let me put it on my fucking iTouch. The only way I can watch it, direct copy, so to speak, is if I can actually stream. So it's not nearly as easily accessible as the current models are for iTunes. And I don't understand. I mean, I get the piracy thing, and they're trying to control the flow of information, but isn't it already being done with the way that they do the direct copies currently? I don't understand what the issue is.
I don't either. And I tell you what, the next Blu-ray that I see that does this ultraviolet shit, I'm not buying it.
No, I will buy just
I'll go and download it through iTunes.
Yeah, I'll get the standard copy, but I won't get anything that has a direct copy. I'm not going to pay extra for something I can't use.
So what is the piracy and iTunes connection there? Is it the fact that you can media share with people like that shares the same computer, like your wife or something, or like she can put it on hers without having to purchase it? Is that?
It's basically you watch it through the internet. I mean, you stream it. It's not like downloaded. You don't actually.
No, I mean, I get the fact
that
I get the fact that it's Why are they? What is it?
I don't know.
What is it about iTunes that they say this? We're trying to curb curb piracy, therefore we're blocking use with iTunes? Is it the fact that you can meet, like if we shared a computer and we both have our iTunes accounts on there, you can, family share. I forget the actual term they use for it.
One of the articles I read and I can't quote who the representative from Warner Brothers was, so I'm not going to guess. But one of the articles I read with one of the heads of Warner Brothers was stating that iTunes was easily hackable, or at least the online content was easily hackable to download, and that's how BitTorrent received a lot of their information. And also, apparently, people were generating codes. So you find a program and you can computer generate a code so that you can download on iTunes. And this program, basically, they control the information. They control it. The studios control it. And that's ultimately what they wanted to get to. Whereas currently, they have to deal with Apple. They don't want to fucking deal with Apple. They want to control the information and make sure everybody in the world has to pay for their content, which I respect, but you need to respect your consumer as well.
Well, but these movies are still available through iTunes. Yeah. I can go down on my iTunes, go to the store, and buy Green Lantern. So I can still get their fucking movie through the service I want to get. I just have to pay iTunes the full, like, $19.99 for their high-def version of the movie, instead of getting a free version of it with my Blu-ray.
Yeah, I don't quite understand what their argument is. I'm just telling you what I read. And I don't for a second think that that's an actual reason. I think it's a bullshit.
I think they just want to try and somehow control the online digital experience, and I'm not doing it. I will just download it to iTunes. Fuck them.
All
right. Well, that's.
I got more passionate about that than I thought I would.
No, honestly, I felt the same way when I first realized exactly what was going on, because I was duped. I felt duped the same way you do, and I almost bought Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 until I saw that, and I'm like, God damn it! I'm not. Fuck you and your stupid little plot to control my world. I already have Apple for that.
I've already relinquished control to Apple.
Exactly. All
I
right?
can't take it back.
I've already realized that I can't apparently competently put a battery into my fucking device because Apple says I can't. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's move on. Sequel news. A couple of quick sequel points that came up right before the show. Star Trek II starts filming January 15th. So starting January 15th, they're going to start rolling.
Woohoo!
The new
it's official.
Chris Pine and gay Spock are going to have a movie. Woohoo!
He had to mention he was gay.
He mentioned he was gay. I didn't say anything. I was trying to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
He took to the airwaves.
What's so funny, though, is shit, this actually goes into TV a little bit. Did you see the episode of American Horror Story with him in it?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to that one yet.
Wow, flaming gay. I'm like, is this closer to who he really is than, as normal roles go, or what? Because he's playing it, and he's playing it fierce.
Wow. Is he finger snapping? Does he finger snap?
Almost.
Almost. But he is bitter, dark, gay guy, so...
He's Sylar gay.
Yeah.
Well, the next piece, that's cool news, especially if you liked the last Star Trek, which I surprisingly did, even though I don't know the entire Star Trek anthology, all that crap that Justin watches. I haven't seen every damn episode of every damn series, but I like Star Trek. I just don't love it.
You don't like it as much as I do.
No, I do not, because I don't know who was on every episode, blah, 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 blah. Ice Cube is doing another Friday, and they are courting Mr. Chris Tucker.
Friday.
So
it's that comes after Thursday?
Friday.
Before Saturday?
Friday. You're going to make me sing the song, too?
Fuck, every Friday. That bitch has ruined that day for me.
Hasn't ruined it for me, because that's when I'm done with work. Well, Chris Tucker's being courted, and as everybody in the world knows, he hasn't made a movie since Rush Hour 3. So my guess is he needs a paycheck, because he probably spent all that Rush Hour money.
I heard he got all churchy.
He did, and I don't know. The one thing, I remember him doing an interview a few years back when he was doing Rush Hour 3 press, and he said he wouldn't do another Friday because of the drug.
Yeah, the drugs.
The drugs and the profanity. Those are the two things, because of his religion, he doesn't want to do anymore.
Don't smoke no pot.
And doesn't say the F word, apparently. But you know what? If I'm getting a nail hammered in, I'm screaming fuck. I'm letting you know.
Fuck shit!
So I think he's mistaken.
Well, that almighty dollar, speaks a lot.
It does. That's Jesus money. That's what that is. He's being courted. we'll see if he does it. I'd love to hear, you got knocked the fuck out one more time. That'd be fantastic.
I don't know. It sounds tragic to hear it one more time.
It sounds tragic, but I didn't like any of the sequels.
Middle-aged Chris Tucker.
I'd like to see it. I like Chris Tucker. I'd like to see him make a comeback. But it'd be really hard because, Rush Hour 3, you could tell he hadn't been funny in a while, and he was rusty.
I liked him best from Fifth Element.
They're talking about doing something more with that, but we'll see. I think Chris Tucker's just throwing something around trying to get work because he spent all that money. Well, that's it.
I think it'd be about the equivalent of what is it? What's his name? Dwayne Wayne from What's Happening?
Different World.
Hey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man, so many young kids just went, what?
Yeah, I know.
Well, let's get moving. That's long enough on movie news. Some trailers that are coming up. Every week we like to talk about the newest trailers that have hit the internet just to kind of give you a feel for what we thought of them. And of course, all these trailers are also available online at The Hollywood Outsider. You click on the tab called Trailers, Current Episode, and there they'll be. Unless you're a week late, and because then they're gone. That's just how it works. This week, there's 3 trailers that came out. The first one is the new Pixar flick that comes out in June of next year, Brave. I literally just watched it before the show, and the only thing I can say about it, and I know it's the first Pixar female heroine, is it looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Justin. What do you think of it?
Well, it looks gorgeous. And like I told you before we started the show, Scottish accents are my favorite by far. And just a film filled with beautiful imagery and those accents backing it up. It just sounds like a fantastic 2 hours in the movie theater. And it looks like a lot of fun. So I'll be curious to see, what all they do with it. Looks beautiful. Sounds great. Should be fun.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
And kilt jokes are always funny.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Just like redneck jokes. That's what I keep trying to tell you. Okay, well, that's Brave, and that is coming out in June of next year. And thankfully, it looks like a return to form for Pixar, because after Cars 2, I honestly think they needed it. The next one is Journey to the Mysterious Island. This is a sequel to Journey to the Center of the Earth, but Brendan Fraser, thankfully, is busy doing, carpentry work or whatever the hell he's doing right now. So filling in for him is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I was surprised that the movie was kind of funny, or the trailer was kind of funny. I don't know. It's basically, it looks like a little kid in search for his grandpapa. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I'll wait for cable for this one. I like The Rock. I like Michael Caine, and I like Luis Guzman, but I don't like that kid that's now 25 or something, playing a 12-year-old.
Oh,
Josh Hutcherson.
Okay.
I don't have a good reason for not liking him, but ever since I've seen him in movies like Zathura and some of those other kid movies that he was in, he just bugs. I don't have a good reason, but I just don't like him. But the little, peck pop of love.
That was funny.
Was freaking hilarious.
That was freaking funny.
I got to give it that.
Hey, you know how you get girls? Oh, the peck pop of love. And then he starts flexing, and it's fucking hysterical.
Well, when you're Dwayne Johnson, that is a lot of muscle flexing. That's not like if I did it, you'd be, what? Leaning in to see if you could see some movement.
Be like, Justin, why are you jumping up and down?
Yeah. Personally, I thought this looked like shit. Just the worst kind of dumbed down. At first, I thought it looked good, and I was with it up until I think it was Luis Guzman or somebody got shit splattered on him. I'm assuming from whatever bugs they're flying on. Mm-hmm. And from that point on, it was like one dumb joke after another, and my appreciation for kind of what they were doing and my enjoyment dwindled until the very end, like you said. And Dwayne Johnson did his little peck pop and then the little berry thing. That ended it on a much higher note than I thought it would be, because it was just tanking.
I will tell you, I am a fan of Dwayne Johnson. He brings his charisma to even the stupidest movies. I didn't like Race to Witch Mountain, but I liked him in it, so it made it watchable for me. So I saw the trailer and I thought, this would be a good little family flick if you've got little kids. It'll be something you can go to and suffer through, and that might be entertaining. That's kind of what I got.
I wish that they would make kids movies smarter, because sometimes I get this impression that Hollywood views anyone under the age of about 20 as drooling mouth breathers who don't get anything above the level of a fart joke.
Everybody except Pixar. Yep.
Exactly.
Have you seen America's Youth lately?
Yeah, he's
pretty. Granted, yeah, okay. There's some merit to that, but kids can be smart. They will be as smart as we can make them, and by giving them just this drivel, it is not helping matters. Pixar is one of the few refuges that we can go to that has humor that isn't just constant fart jokes and poop in your face.
True enough.
We can do better, people.
I don't know. Kids these days know way more than I did at that age. So I think there's a lot of parents that would say their kids are probably smart enough as it is.
It's probably true.
Maybe I dumb them down a little bit.
Speaking of
make another scary movie.
Speaking of dumbing down America, there were a couple of trailers that came out. One, my opinion, looks really good. One, my opinion, and I think everybody's opinion, looks like shit. First
both are about the same thing.
Yes, ironically, they are both about the same thing. There's 2 Snow White movies coming out. One is called Snow White and the Huntsman and has Charlize Theron starring as the Wicked Queen going after that evil bitch, Snow White. Snow White in that one is played by Kristen Stewart, who nobody has ever found to be very joyful or pleasant. Yet she's going to play the upbeat Snow White. I don't care. The trailer she doesn't even speak in the trailer one time that I saw.
Yeah, it is telling how little she's actually in the trailer.
Yes, the entire trailer is Charlize Theron and Thor. What's his name? Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
So basically, it's the queen hires the huntsman to go after Snow White because she's the fairest of them all, and bring her ass down. I didn't see any little midgets running around in that one.
Mm-mm.
But the trailer I thought looked beautiful. It was a clever trailer. I thought the story looked interesting. And everybody that's in it, even Kristen Stewart, which even though she didn't talk, which I'm fine with that because she's probably better when she shuts up. She looked fine. So the movie itself looked very sweeping, epic. It looks like a really, really good, solid movie. Would you guys agree?
A little Lord of the Ringsy. You know, it's got some grit to it. Charlize Theron is fucking owning that role as the evil queen. Loved the imagery. Thought she did a great job. It looks like I went into it waiting to hate it. And came out going, man, I want to see that movie like right now.
Exactly. Brian, did you like that one?
Yeah, that looks awesome. Yeah, she rocks as the evil queen. I like what they did with the mirror.
Yeah.
It's like this liquid metal stuff coming up, and it was, the special effects look just incredible. It looks awesome, and I'm really stoked to see this. And it comes out June of next summer.
Yes, it's definitely a summer release, and it looks great. On the other side of the spectrum is Mirror Mirror, which stars Julia Roberts as the evil queen, hamming it up. In Tarsum Singh, I think is how you pronounce his name. He did the most recent Immortals movie, and also Jennifer Lopez's The Cell years ago.
Which was a beautiful film.
It's a beautiful film. No plot, but it's a beautiful film. He is a very visual director. The movie is about the same thing, pretty well. It's the queen going after the Snow White, except there's midgets in this one.
Got to have the dwarfs.
You got to have the dwarfs in that one because they got to have some.
Like half the dwarfs though in this movie are in the TV show. Grumpy is in this movie also.
Wow. All I know is this one looks like shit. Looks like utter.
Looks like a Bollywood movie.
Yes, it starts off with a fucking musical Bollywood number.
And hold on, let's not now. Bollywood, for what they do with those films, Bollywood can be quite beautiful and gorgeous to look at. How that translates into a European folk tale is skeptical. My biggest issue with this trailer is that the director who is known for making visually stunning movies, this is a boring fucking looking movie.
Yeah.
It looks, it really looks like an extension of the ABC TV series. Those special effects are TV quality, not
Once Upon a Time, you mean?
Not silver screen quality.
And Julia Roberts is horrible in this trailer. I mean, chomping the scenery up like like it's made out of candy, and yet completely awkward in everything she does, everything she says, looks like shit, sounds like shit. I could not believe how terrible this movie looked.
I was actually kind of surprised because Julia Roberts, even though I'm not a huge fan, usually carries her weight.
Yeah, she's all right.
She can act, you know.
Yeah.
But this one, it looked like, what are you phoning it in? Why did you take this job?
It looked like a very poor Tim Burton film.
Pedestrian. Looks like a pedestrian.
Very pedestrian Alice in Wonderland Tim Burton movie.
That, I don't know. There's not much more you can say about it, but
It'll be one of the top Razzie winners next year.
yes.
It's definitely the deep impact to Snow White's Armageddon. If you're catching my comparison.
Wow, look at you.
Oh,
I'm impressed, man. I am impressed. But by that token, you're saying Armageddon is by far the best movie of those two.
Fuck yeah. Is there a question?
Was Morgan Freeman president in Armageddon? I don't think so. Just
Didn't
saying.
need him, bro. You had the
you
fucking.
didn't, no.
You had Henry Stamper, the best deep core driller.
Harry Big Nut Stamper.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I'll go. No, what was it? No show. I forget what it was.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I love Armageddon, but we shouldn't go off on a tangent.
Well, let's
This is Russian space station.
get back on the
Sorry.
let's get back on the rails here.
I had to get that in there. I pulled it up, you know.
Yeah,
had to pull
I know what you
Trust these
did.
assholes with a potato gun.
I know what you did. I know what you did there. I saw it. We're going to move on. That is all for movie news and trailers. Remember, the trailers you can find on thehollywoodoutsiders.com at the Trailers Current Episode tab. And also, if you have any suggestions for news or anything else, you can email us at feedback@thehollywoodoutsiders.com. We're going to move on to the big screen. And that is, we're going to review anything that we've seen that just came out. A quick look at box office, and we're going to talk about the movies that are coming to theaters soon. Well, the movie we're going to review this week is Immortals, because I saw it. I suffered through it.
I feel so bad. I'm on this podcast with you about movies, and I never watch any.
That's okay. You
I
still
feel like
know
I'm letting
about
you
them.
down.
No, you know about them. You know about them.
Yeah, I did go see Three Musketeers. So
You did?
Yeah. No, I didn't see that either.
Oh. You did?
I wanted to, but I never did. A Paranormal Activity was the last movie I went to the theaters to see.
That's all right. When you get to it, you get to it. Let's move on. Don't worry about it. I saw Immortals 3D. Just to give you kind of a synopsis of what this thing is about, Mickey Rourke plays King Hyperion. He leads an army tearing Greece all the fuck apart, looking for this lost bow of Epirus. And what this bow can do is supposedly, the bow can take down the gods. You enter Henry Cavill, who's the new Superman, by the way. He plays Theseus. He's this random dude. What's that?
I thought it was Theseus.
Okay, Theseus. Whatever the fuck. Who cares?
I got real pedantic. I apologize.
Theseus. This random. There you go with dictionary.com again. He's this random dude. He kicks all kinds of random ass, and he's beloved by Zeus for his ass kickery. Hyperion kills his mama, and then this dude swears revenge. Okay, you guys with me so far? Yeah?
What?
No? Exactly.
sorry. Were you
That
talking?
is the plot. That's the fucking plot. It's basically Mickey Rourke trying to take over Greece. He's trying to find this bow so he can take over Greece. Henry Cavill is going back after him because he killed his mama in front of him. And that is the entire plot. Frida Pinto pops in. She's the hot Indian bad actress chick. She sees a vision that Theseus is the one guy that can stop Mickey Rourke. So she talks Stephen Dorff and a bunch of other jackasses to join in their little quest. I don't know. It was like a waste of 2 hours, man. It looks very cool. Mickey Rourke is very creepy. Henry Cavill is very heroic. And honestly, Justin and Brian, you guys will be happy. I think he'll be a very good Superman.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I saw some positives with that. Stephen Dorff does okay with his cheesy. He has the cheesiest dialogue in the whole movie, but he at least pulls it off. Even though the whole time he looks and sounds like, what's his name? Stephen Dorff. Yeah. the one.
Now, would you, if anybody goes to see it, would you recommend the 3D version, or do you think the 2D version is fair, good enough for it?
Well,
Because I thought Green Lantern was fine. It didn't need to be in 3D to enjoy it. I thought Green Lantern was good enough by itself. But I just watched Three Musketeers in 2D, and I wish I would have seen that one in 3D because they had a lot of neat stuff in there that would have been good, in your face. So,
well, I will tell you that the 3D did not add anything to it for me. There were a couple pretty badass fight scenes that were pretty cool, like oh shit action moments. But for the most part, the whole movie was very bland. And Tarsum Singh, who was the director, and he, like I said, he directed Mirror Mirror, which is coming out whenever the hell that thing comes out. He definitely goes for visual flair, but there's zero substance. There's no story. The story is so simple, it's not even funny, which you don't really need for this kind of movie. I mean, you know, let's face it. It's a sword and sandal action ass kick movie, and it's more in the realm. It's more in the vein of like a Clash of the Titans than 300, even though it's from the same producers, and they're obviously going for that vibe. It's very mythical and fantastical and all that. The god stuff, the costume choices, I mean, the gods look like, I can't make this up if I tried. The gods look like they just walked out of a Rocky Horror Picture Show revival. It's that bad. They just, did you take a stand right there, or?
I will not allow that.
They have the worst costumes I've seen of anything. I mean, they have this weird headgear and costume choices for no fucking reason, just other than to make them look like they stand out.
Even worse than Liam Neeson's outfit in Clash of the Titans.
Yes. I mean, I'm serious, Justin. If you go find a clip of the gods, and you will laugh your ass off. I mean, they are just fucking hysterical. The one thing the movie does even more poorly than the story is defining who the gods are and what they do, what they represent. You don't know which god is which. You know Zeus because he's the one that looks like Orlando Bloom right off of Bender. But the rest of them, yeah, you don't know who they are, what they represent, or anything. They do a very poor job of illustrating what these gods do.
That's unfortunate.
It is. It's very unfortunate. I think there's a lot of potential with the movie. I think Mickey Rourke did a very good job being a creepy fucker because he is one. Outside of that, nobody really stood out other than Henry Cavill was fine. So, you know, overall, I think it was a decent movie. I don't recommend it. And if it wasn't for the company I kept, you know, the friends that I went with to see this would have been even lower, but I give it $4 out of 10. If a movie ticket's $10, I give it $4. So I recommend a rental.
Wow.
It looked like a poor man's 300.
Yep.
That's too bad.
Yep. Brian, what'd you think of Three Musketeers? I know it's already out of the theaters, so let's go quick.
Yeah, real quick. It's the Three Musketeers story. You know, D'Artagnan goes to join the Musketeers to find out they've been disbanded, and he meets up with the Aramis, Porthos, and whichever the other one is.
Yeah, the other guys.
This Porthos
the other
and
one.
Aramis.
So anyway, it's, you know, but it's just it was just a neat. I know a few people, couple friends of ours kind of knocked it as far as we know that the introduction of the steampunk stuff is was a little bit off-putting, but it's really not in the. You see it in the commercials quite a bit, but it's really not in the movie a lot. It's not in there as much as what you would think it is just by the previews. So visually, it's stunning. Like I said, I wish I would have seen it in 3D because there was a lot of stuff. It was a little distracting for a sword in your face, and you know that this is sticking right there in your face if you had glasses on. So, but it looks like the stuff they did with the 3D was done, you know, would have been done well. But it was entertaining. I'd give it probably a 6
out of 10. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, it was, you know, it wasn't. I didn't feel gypped whenever I walked out of there. So
that's good.
But you know, and it was good. So
I had some friends who saw it and they were quite pleased with it.
Yeah.
So it's entertaining. It's a good video rental or purchase, maybe something like that. So like I said, I give Immortals 4 out of 10. I don't recommend it. Brian gives the Three Musketeers, if you can find it, 6 out of 10. So obviously that's the better movie out of those two. Let's move on. Quick box office recap, just so you kind of know where the movie stood. Immortals opened at number 1 with $32 million. So it's doing well. I think it's going to drop pretty quick, personal opinion, but we'll see what happens. Jack and Jill, yes, that Jack and Jill that we talked about last week, made $25 million.
Oh, God, America, why?
So Adam Sandler, I don't care how the critics respond, what the movie's about, as long as he's in it and he says, hey, I'm making a comedy, people fucking show up.
I go back to
here,
my point about youth in America.
Yeah, I just sit here trying to say America's smarter than this, and then you hit me with this news, completely undermining everything I just said.
There you go. And J. Edgar opened with $11 million. It's not bad. It was released only on less than 2,000 theaters, so
I'm shocked at how much Tower Heist is actually making.
Tower Heist has made $43 million so far. It'll probably end up with around 75 million, which doesn't cover the budget, but overseas can take care of that, so we'll see. Puss in Boots is doing really well.
What is that?
Puss in Boots.
See, I gave you the setup, bro.
Jeez, man, I appreciate it. That movie stars Antonio Banderas and Salma Sweet Titties Hayek. That 24 million bucks, and it's already made 108 million. So that movie's actually
There goes our 2 female listeners.
Oh, it does not. Everybody that knows me knows that Salma Hayek is the most gorgeous woman on the planet to me. So that's it for the box office. I don't want to go too far into that because I know that doesn't excite a lot of people, but some people want to know, so I'm telling them. Immortals is number 1. I want to know why. Oh, I know, because it's pretty. Last week, we mentioned a couple movies that are coming out, so if you want to hear more about those, The Descendants, which opened November 16th, Happy Feet 2, and Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1 opened on the 18th. If you want to hear more about those films, which you talked about last week, that would be episode 15, so please check it out. Moving on, what's coming out November 23rd? Here are the 4 releases that are coming out. The first one, Arthur Christmas. Have you guys seen commercials for this? It's that CGI animated tale from the makers of Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, I'm not really into the Christmas cartoons, but it does look cute.
So, I think it's about the youngest son of Santa Claus, and he's on a mission to deliver a forgotten present. And a lot of Christmassy stuff happens. I don't know, it looks cute. You don't think so, Justin? Nothing.
I think it looks like crap.
All right. Well,
not to be Scroogey, but it looks like crap. I don't know. Maybe I was in a bad mood when I saw the trailer. Right?
I think so. Justin went from when we started the podcast to loving everything to now he just hates everything.
I hate everything.
He just hates everything.
Fuck it all.
Make fun of a few George Lucas movies and woo, now he hates everything.
Hulk mad.
That is one release, and that's so if you know what, it's getting good reviews so far. If you've got a family and you're looking for a good family movie, that's one option. Not the one I'm going to recommend, but that's one option.
Readers.
A Dangerous Method is coming out. This is probably going to be more of a limited release, but it will eventually go wide if people see it. And that stars Michael Fassbender, who's the from X-Men First Class. He played Magneto. He stars as psychiatrist Carl Jung, who takes on the case of Keira Knightley as a woman that has violent seizures. Viggo Mortensen also stars as Sigmund Freud, who assists Jung with diagnosis and connects the woman's dilemma to sexuality, which that automatically means it's going to be hot. And then Jung engages in like an affair with Knightley, so that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, what she needs to cure her is just a good deep dick. And
that's apparently what the trailer says. It's
gotcha.
like, oh, she has
that's always my go-to, cure.
That's how I try to fix things. Like, oh, you're crazy and violent and you're afraid you're going to hurt yourself? Well, here, let's fuck. That'll take care of it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I say.
Oh, that's too bad. Supposedly, it's supposed to be a thought-provoking drama. The performances are supposed to be very profound, very deep. And it's directed by David Cronenberg, who's done quite a few decent movies. He did A History of Violence, which I think is a fantastic movie.
It was good.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of other ones. A lot of classics. He did Dead Ringers. And some shit. A lot of shit. The next...
That movie won't make anything over... I bet you it doesn't make over $40 million with the rest of the other... with the other movies that are coming out over the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely not. No. There's no way that movie makes $40 million. You know why? Because it's about a woman that has a serious issues, and he thinks the solution is to bang her.
Really? Who wants to see a movie about Freud and Jung in a threesome or a three-way or whatever? Really?
I don't know. They're both attractive men, and Keira Knightley's not too bad either, so... There's somebody
they're all going to be wrapped up in tweed suits with the patched elbows and glasses and...
it takes 45 minutes to get undressed. By that time, you don't care anymore.
Exactly, and they're talking through the entire act.
Exactly.
Hello, do you like it when I press there?
The reason why I'm doing this to you is because I've got issues with my daddy.
Can I get on top?
Moving along.
All right, The Muppets. Jason Segel, Amy Adams, and I think every single actor that works in Hollywood pop up to try to save the Muppet Theater from demolition as Tex Richmond, yes, his name is Tex Richmond, played by Chris Cooper, threatens to demolish it to drill for oil. And every fucking Muppet is back. This movie looks awesome. Awesome. It makes me want to sing.
I was never a huge Muppets fan, but this movie pulls at what few bits of Muppet love I have and really makes me want to go see it.
And Jason Segel wrote it. And he is a very talented comedic writer. So I'm looking very, very forward to seeing this
Do you think
movie.
the Dracula from Forgetting Sarah Marshall is going to show up? Because that would be tits.
I would love it. I would love it. And this is his passion project. This is the one movie he's wanted to make his entire career. He thought this is the one thing he wanted to do. I really want to see what he does with it. Because I think if anybody can do it, he can do it.
Yeah.
Brian, do you want to see the Muppets at all?
Absolutely.
All right.
I mean, those two old crotchety bastards that sit up in the balcony were major inspiration to me.
That's me and Brian.
So, exactly. Have you seen the promo posters for where they're spoofing Twilight?
Yes, yes, it looks
It's like
pretty
funny.
funny.
Was it Team Kermit? Yeah,
Yes.
he's a vamphibian, and Miss Piggy is Bella Swine.
Yeah.
and Rolf the dog is a werewolf. They're awesome. Look them up.
I've got to see that.
Maybe we could put a link on the website for it or something.
Bella Swine. Oh, that's
Wow.
perfect.
That's funny. All right, the last one, and then we'll each do our pick of the week, is Hugo, and that is yet another family flick. I can't believe they're releasing 3 of these in wide release in the same weekend. I think that's idiotic, because one of them will be a hit, one of them might do okay, and the other one's going to flop. But Martin Scorsese is directing his first family movie. It's in 3D, and it's about an orphan boy who lives secretly in the walls of a Paris train station. His dad dies, his uncle goes missing, and Hugo makes a friend who holds the key to get his robot his dad was working on working. The whole thing is the whole trailer that I saw seemed like it was being very careful about what the plot was. So that's just what I found on it. I really can't tell what the movie's about other than it looks like it's trying to be whimsical, it's trying to be interesting. But I don't really get a vibe that this is anything special.
I bet you it's just the opposite. It's probably the best one out of all of them by far, but it's going to get overlooked because of everything else that's coming out.
Did you see the trailer for it?
Yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's kind of hard to figure out exactly what's going on, but it's kind of because of that and because of the Muppets and Twilight, it's going to be gone in 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, and Twilight's going to make $16 billion. So,
right.
You know. Well, those are the ones coming out. Justin, do you want to see Hugo?
No.
Because you hate families?
Well, I don't want
because
breeder
Jordy's
movies.
not in it.
but no, it reminded me of those Robert Zemeckis CGI films.
Oh, gotcha.
And those were so creepy looking just from the trailers. I never wanted to see the movie because I don't want to put myself through that kind of creepy, uncanny valley CG for the entire film. This movie kind of reminded me of those, and so within my mind, I've made that connection, even though it's only within my mind. And like you said, I have no real idea what this movie's about. Granted, I hate trailers that show too much. I hate almost as much trailers that leave you completely clueless as to what the film is. At least give me some idea of what the gist of the story is. I'm lost. I'll go see the Muppets.
I had a hard time trying to find out what the movie was just online, let alone
Isn't it based
on
on a book or something?
Yeah, it is. But I didn't read the book, so that didn't help me.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So your pick is the Muppets. Brian,
Yes.
what is your pick of the week?
Team Kermit, motherfucker.
Team Green, bitch.
I hope they put that on the poster. Team Kermit, motherfucker. Mine is
think
also the
that's gonna be
Muppets. You know why? Because the Muppets fucking rule. That's why. Team Kermit all the way. Team Bella Swine. Those are what are coming out, and that wraps up the movie section of our podcast. We are going to do Stump the Hoe right now.
Stump the Hoe.
Stump the Hoe is our weekly trivia game where we basically Each week, a podcaster takes turn doing a trivia question, trying to stump the other podcasters. And we will ask the question and then take a quick trailer break where you'll hear Brave this week. And then when we return from the trailer break, you'll be able to hear A, the rest of our show, and B, the answer to the question. So this week,
you guys got so owned last week.
Yeah, we did, because it wasn't fair. This week, it's my turn, and I'm going to do a question in honor of Thanksgiving. So are you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Hit me.
In the classic John Hughes Thanksgiving themed film, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, during the famous motel scene, there's a clip from another John Hughes film playing. What was it? Was it 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, She's Having a Baby, or Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Oh, I'm saying She's Having a Baby.
You're saying She's Having a Baby?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brian?
What was the last one?
The last option was Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I'll say that.
You'll say Ferris
Cause
Bueller?
because they were headed to. He was headed to Chicago, right? So.
Mm-hmm.
Every fucking John Hughes movie is in Chicago.
Is it? Okay.
Damn near, yeah.
Okay, so Justin, you're saying She's Having a Baby. Brian, you're saying Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And I will give you the answer right after you listen to the trailer for Brave.
I saw something that day. Something I'll not forget. It stands 12 feet tall, with razor-sharp claws. His hide littered with the weapons of fallen warriors. His face scarred with one dead eye. I drew my sword and...
Chomp! Dad's leg was clean off!
Oh, that's my favourite part.
In accordance with our laws, the firstborn of each of the great leaders must prove their worth. Merida, stop! A lady enjoys elegant pursuits.
I present my only son. He took out a whole armada single-handedly. With one arm, he was steering the ship.
I want my freedom.
But are you willing to pay the price your freedom will cost?
Careful what you wish for, my mother would say.
What's the worst that could happen? No more fighting! Show a little decorum!
Feast your eyes.
If you had the chance to change your fate, would you?
And that was the trailer for Brave. So I highly recommend you come to the website and look at that trailer because it looks beautiful. Looks beautiful. Yeah. So back to Stump the Hoe. We are ready to give the answer to the question that I came up with, which makes it genius. And to repeat that question, it is in honor of Thanksgiving. In the classic John Hughes Thanksgiving film, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, during the famous motel scene, there's a clip from another John Hughes movie playing. What was it? And the options are 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, She's Having a Baby, or Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Justin said She's Having a Baby. Brian, you said Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yeah.
Brian, you are absolutely wrong. Justin, you are correct. You are a winner. You win a big whatever the fuck we give people. Ding, ding, ding.
I'm right.
So it's She's Having a Baby. So
I love John Hughes movies.
Yep, and especially that one. That is the best Thanksgiving movie.
Yep.
And if you want to suggest a Stump the Hoe question, please email us at feedback@thehollywoodoutsiders.com. That's feedback@thehollywoodoutsiders.com. We'd love a trivia question from our listeners, and we will be sure to read it on the air. So let's move on to the Idiot Box. That's where we talk about TV news and what we've been watching on TV this week. Just a couple quick bits. Prime Suspect and Community have both been pulled from mid-season, which means that Prime Suspect has been shut down. The production's been shut down completely, and Community has been pulled, so they're not going to complete a 22-episode order. It's only 13 episodes. So basically, Prime Suspect is most likely canceled, and Community looks like it's pretty close to it. Do you guys watch it?
I thought Community was doing well.
It does well in like the target demographic, but not that well, apparently.
Joe McHale's contract, you getting paid too much?
I doubt it. It's NBC. I doubt it.
Now, what's this Prime Suspect? Is this one of that endless parade of TV
It's a procedural.
cop shit?
Yeah, Maria Bello in a fedora. So
Okay, so it's not doing anything different than every other CSI and
No, and it's remade.
CVS and SUV and whatever the fuck cop shows.
Yes,
She's
except I will tell you that Helen Mirren did the original BBC series, and that was a phenomenal show. That was a great show. This is kind of a remake of that, and it's not nearly as good. But I've heard that it's pretty good. I only saw half of one episode, and I just thought, that's another procedural. So I didn't really feel like watching it all the way through.
We've got 1,000 more.
Exactly. It's kind of like, you know what? I've got plenty of them that I'd rather watch, and I don't need another one tacked on. So I feel bad for him because obviously critically it was reviewed very well. It didn't catch on. Happens every season. So
I'm hoping Community doesn't get canceled. I've only seen the first season, but what I saw was fucking hysterical.
I'm hoping it doesn't get canceled, but the only thing I've seen is the first season. It's probably why it's getting canceled.
Oh, that Modern Warfare episode still makes me laugh my ass off.
Paintball is awesome in Community.
Well, and of course it was directed by Justin Chin, who did the last several Fast and Furious movies.
Mm-hmm.
So you know the guy knows what he's doing. But I love a show that's not afraid to take itself, a little less seriously. Community's that show, and I really enjoy it. I hope it picks up. I don't know what they're going to do.
Well, apparently they're shutting down.
Well, but I mean, maybe they'll shut down.
Yeah, they might bring it
Public
back.
outcry will reach their ears, and maybe they'll pick it back up. I don't know.
It could happen. Well,
Shows have been brought back before.
Fingers crossed, because I really love Joe McHale. I think he's a really funny guy.
He's funny, yeah.
Chelsea Handler just got a $25 million deal on E!
So is she still fucking the president of E? Because apparently that's how she got her show to begin with.
I don't know about that. But she's got a show and she got $25 million. She's not that good in bed, so she's obviously doing well for E! itself. It makes me wonder, though, which is great for her because I think Chelsea Handler is actually a pretty funny lady. And every once in a while I'll catch her show, and it's entertaining. Even though I think it's more of just the crazy drunk lady talking to me than really an actual show, but it's kind of like ours. But we aren't getting paid $25 million. But the thing that I wonder is if she's getting $25 million for a talk show, how much are the fucking Kardashians getting? Because they're on every 15 minutes. How much do they make?
Well,
I don't want to think about
Well, Kim Kardashian made like $18 million just on her wedding alone. So what does that tell you?
Wow. So ridiculous.
She made $18 million on her wedding. Most people pay out $18 million for a wedding.
Who the fuck pays $18 million out for a wedding that isn't filthy rich?
It's, and Justin can back me up on this, but I believe the French call it hyperbole, jackass.
Well, I mean, between the endorsements and everything else, she made $18 million. She made money to do her fucking wedding. If I could make a video of Second Cock and get $18 million, I might just do it.
Obviously, especially if it was Brad Pitt's or Bradley Cooper's.
Oh, yeah. I go much lower than $18 million there.
Oh, Captain Pearl necklace over there.
I'm telling you. I mean, Jesus Christ. I don't even want to go off on the Kardashians as talentless cunts.
Wow. You didn't have to drop the C word.
Is that cunt with a K?
They do nothing. How are they rich and famous? The only thing they ever did was slide out of a rich woman's vagina. Kim did put out a video of her blowing and fucking a guy, and somehow has parlayed that into millions of dollars.
God bless her. That makes her smarter than we all think she is.
I hope so. I hope she is playing us all for suckers. Because I would hate for her to actually just be falling into all this wealth and fame.
I don't normally apologize for our language, but the C word, I will apologize for. So I'm so sorry.
Wow, really? I crossed the line?
That's just my personal line. I don't know about viewers, but I did like that Brian wants to know if you spell it with a K.
I said the K word. So
Brian spelled it with a K.
I meant it in the British sense. Because they say cunt all the time. And they don't mean it as vulgarly as we do. That's how I meant it, too.
I understand. Let's move on. Although I do want to know if it's spelled with a K, because that's fucking hysterical.
It would have to be, wouldn't it?
Yes. Obviously, everything in the Kardashian world is spelled with a K. Even Rob is probably spelled with a K. Rob Schneider, speaking of Rob.
That's the worst segue ever. But go on, please.
Oh, boy. He got a sitcom, and it's called Rob. And it debuts on January 12th. I only mention this because apparently they will give anyone a television show now.
He was actually kind of funny back in the day.
He was funny. He's a great supporting character.
Yeah,
I hope he does well in his little sitcom.
You don't own Deuce Bigelow?
I like the first one. I do own the first one. That's true. The second one, it doesn't even count. But Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo, very funny movie. Outside of that, he's a great supporting character.
Isn't Adam Sandler involved, like as a producer or something, for Rules of Engagement?
I think so. Basically, anything David Spade or Rob Schneider do, Adam Sandler has to be involved in. I think that's
exactly, and that's kind of my point. Is it looks like it's just Adam Sandler hooking up one of his boys again. So, Schneider had a show back in the '90s that failed miserably. So I don't expect this to do any better. But I agree with you. He's a really good supporting actor, but he just doesn't carry a movie or a show by himself.
Fair enough. We'll see what happens. Well, with that, that's all really for TV news. Not a whole lot happening in TV this week. Real quick, we like to do a little section called Did You See That? Where we talk about anything new on TV that's kind of catching our eye this week. I haven't really got a chance to watch much. Have you guys seen anything that really... Hell on Wheels, did you see that yet, Brian?
Yeah, it's kind of a little slow coming out of the gate. I've only watched the first episode. I haven't watched this last Sunday's, but it's intriguing. It's it's still kind of getting into the characters a little bit. So I'm going to give it a few more episodes, but I'm liking it. It looks good. It's kind of, the basic plot is a guy he joins a railroad to track down the guy that killed his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in the first episode, he basically finds him, or at least thinks he found him. And so it picks up from there. So,
so you would recommend it, or you're still kind of, you don't know yet?
I don't know yet, but I'm definitely leaning towards recommending it.
Okay.
So,
but
I'm on the fence right now, but I'm leaning towards recommending it. Like I said, I've only seen the one episode. They're still, kind of fleshing out the characters and everything. So I'm gonna definitely give it a few. I'll probably watch the whole season. So just to give it a fair shot.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? The trailer for it that I saw was pretty much balls to the wall. Is it balls to the wall, or is it pretty much just, like you said, it's slow moving? It's not what it represented. It's
not Sons of Anarchy as far as action goes,
mm-hmm.
but it's not Mad Men as far as slow moving either. I've only watched the one episode, but it's the guy's. He traveled out west. There is a little bit of action. There is a kind of a oh shit type of moment.
Okay.
Towards the the last few minutes of it. So that definitely got me hooked to kind of see what happens next. And so I'm hoping it kind of picks it up, picks it up from there. So.
Okay. Anything else you've been watching, or Justin, that you've been watching?
I've been watching The Next Iron Chef on Food Network. Does that count?
Yeah, that'll count.
It's on TV.
It was catching your attention. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. If you're a Food Network fan, then just about everybody who's competing to be the next Iron Chef is somebody you'll recognize from their various shows, either as people on cooking shows or people who judge cooking shows. It's a fun show. My wife and I we're longtime foodies, as you can tell by my waistline. Unfortunately, we appreciate good food and television about good food. So Food Network it's probably the channel we keep on when there's nothing else on. It just kind of plays in the background, and we enjoy watching those shows. And occasionally we'll watch some of the other shows like Pawn Star American Pickers, I think, is probably my favorite of that style of show. But no, lately I've been canceling shows. I think I said it earlier. Glee, I've officially removed from my list. I'm sick to death of wasting my time in what seems to be pointless shows. Person of Interest, I canceled out. Terra Nova is on the bubble. It's about to be cut from my list as well. There's too much time. I mean, there's too little time, too much to do, and I'm sick of wasting it on mediocre television.
I will tell you, a friend of mine finally was watching Terra Nova, and the first thing they said to me were, after the first episode, the special effects look like Sci-Fi Channel effects.
Yeah, they are. They're not that great. I feel like Stephen Lang, the guy from Avatar who's in this, is wasting his talents. He's a good actor.
He's a very talented actor. He's been in a lot of stuff people don't even realize.
Grimm continues to be good, though. I'm glad I'm watching that show.
I didn't love the bee lady episode, but
that was weird.
That was kind of weird, but the show is still catching my eye for sure.
It was weird, but I like that it's showing a schism within the this fable kind of community, that not all of them are evil, and I did like seeing a former Star Trek actor working.
Of course you did.
Yes. Did you recognize who that was?
No, I did not.
The bee thing I thought was oh, sorry, go ahead.
It was Nina Visitor from Deep Space Nine. She played the queen bee chick.
Once again, I was busy having sex. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, whatever. Wow. Way to break that out. That old chestnut.
What were you saying, Brian?
About the Grimm thing, I like the fact that they made you think about, or they made the main character kind of think about what he was really doing. You know, he was after the bee people, but they kind of made you think, like, wait a minute, are they actually doing something? You know, are we actually doing, you know, are these people actually doing something good by killing these other people that we're tracking them down for? So it's kind of a second guessing his idea to take out the quote unquote bad guy, but it kind of made you think a little bit, like, if these people are actually, maybe they're the good guy after all.
Absolutely. And I'm a fan. So check out Grimm if you haven't seen it. It's actually coming along fine. I think it might make a good show if it doesn't get canceled.
That one and American Horror Story are probably my two favorite new shows.
Yes, that's very clever. And they're keeping up the cleverness, so check those out.
You finally decided to watch it?
Yep, I've seen a couple episodes now, and I like it. I like where it's going. It's very interesting. I've only seen a couple, though, so don't hold me to anything. But
I'll hold you, Aaron.
Okay. Please do. Okay, from that is what we have for TV. It's pretty slow week. We're going to go into From the Outside In. That's our weekly topic. Normally we have a pretty interesting topic we talk about for about 15 minutes. Every week it alternates. Sometimes it's a listener topic, sometimes it's just our idea. This week we're going to keep it kind of simple. With Thanksgiving, we're just going to talk about what we're doing, entertainment-wise. We're going to watch TV, like we're just going to watch football. We're going to go see a movie with the family, watch movies about Indians, whatever it is. We're just kind of going to just let you know what we're doing. So let's start with Brian. What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Going home to visit my family.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite things that I don't get to do anymore was, when given the time, was me and my mom will go to a movie. Usually like a Friday or a Saturday, something like that. So I'm sure we'll be checking out a movie. And, of course, working in some football, a lot of turkey, and getting up at ridiculously insane times on Friday morning to try to catch a deal somewhere.
Better you than me, man.
What movie do you think you guys are going to go see?
It depends on her.
The Muppets, bitch.
Was she a big Twilight fan? Is she Team Jacob or Edward?
I don't know if she's even seen the Twilight movies, to be honest with you.
Oh, maybe you should take her to see those. Justin, what are you doing? What are you and the missus doing?
We're getting the fuck out of here. We're going to go take a little trip. November 27th is our wedding anniversary. And the whole reason we got married then, this will be our 12th anniversary. We got married on that weekend because it was Thanksgiving weekend. It was when everybody was going to be available to come. And so every year we're always kind of struggling. Do we go and do something for our anniversary? or do we stay here for Thanksgiving? Because usually they'll fall since they're so close together. It's always kind of a struggle. And last year was our first year in our new house, and we vowed that we were going to cook Thanksgiving dinner for everyone, have them come over. It was our first time to really do 90% of the cooking. We were looking forward to it. It took one Thanksgiving to say we will never fucking do that again. So this year we decided that instead of trying to figure out whose house we're going to go to, whose dinner we're going to go enjoy, screw it. And we booked a little vacation at Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Nice. There you go.
We've driven past there. Every time we go to Memphis, we drive past the signs for Hot Springs, and we kept saying, we should go there someday. We should go there someday. I figured, what, Thanksgiving would be a good day to do it. So we're driving up Thanksgiving Day, and then that Friday when everyone's going to be, knee deep in people at stores, we're actually going to be laying on massage tables, getting some mani-pedis, getting a little massage on, enjoy the spa, and then probably just go and check out what's going on in Hot Springs for the day. It should be nice and hopefully very relaxing.
That sounds like a really good week.
Cool.
I am having the family over to my house for Thanksgiving this year again. We are going to do the usual. We're going to watch the Lions-Packer game, which should be phenomenal.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm going to miss the Cowboy game.
Really? Why are you going to miss it?
Because we're driving.
Can't you get it like on your phone or something? You got an iPhone.
I've got Sirius. I could listen to it, but yeah, I was not born in that generation where we listen to sports. I do it, but I do not enjoy it nearly as much as watching the game.
I gotcha. Well, we are going to obviously watch the game, and then we'll have turkey and all that stuff, and then I will probably go see a film. I'm hoping to take my mom to see the Muppets. Like you, Brian, I like to go to a movie with my mom, but she doesn't go out as often as she used to, so that'll be nice. That's generally
your mom picks better movies than my mom.
My mom has the best taste in movies. She loves quality flicks.
What was that piece of shit Daniel Craig movie I just bitched about because she drove me to it?
Yeah,
Dreamhouse.
Dreamhouse. Yeah.
Still got a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, my mom doesn't do that. She makes good choices, and she loves horror movies because that's where I got all my taste in movies came from my mom. So, I look forward to that. I hope we do that. That'll be a good time. And I wish my brother could go more, and I'd like to have him on the show sometime. But he's very eclectic movie tastes, and I'd like to go see something with him. But he's always pretty busy, so that's mine. That's what we're doing. So that's kind of what the Outsider guys are doing for Thanksgiving. We are just kind of letting you know because every once in a while I think it's nice for us to open up and just be personable instead of just making bad jokes and bad references about female anatomy that are spelled correctly and incorrectly. We're going to move on to The Couch, which is basically what's coming out on DVD and Blu-ray on November 22nd. These are the films that are coming out. Super 8, great movie. I saw it in the theaters, loved it. Mm-hmm. It's about little kids not little kids, but teenagers that are making a Super 8 movie, and then there is a train crash and something pops out of a train car and starts affecting a local town. And then it's a coming of age movie. It's a J.J. Abrams movie, very much in a Steven Spielberg mold. It's a very good film. I can't say enough good things about it. It was probably one of my favorite movies from the summer, so I highly recommend that. Either one of you guys, you saw it, right, Justin?
Yeah, I liked it quite a bit.
Excellent.
It was definitely J.J. Abrams channeling Spielberg.
It's a very good movie. Brian, you did not see it, correct?
No, I saw it.
Oh, did you?
Loved it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, loved it.
See, we all know good movies then. See, Justin, you've seen movies. Don't be quiet. Spy Kids 4 comes out. None of us have seen that one.
Speaking of Joel McHale.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's in it, isn't he? He's like the dad or something.
Yeah.
And also, what's her name? Gorgeous chick. Jessica Alba. She's in it. So if you're into bad sequels, Spy Kids 4 is out. Conan the Barbarian, which we reviewed many, many podcasts back. Feel free to find that episode and watch it. Justin liked it. I thought it was pretty decent, so it's worth a rental.
I'll buy it.
You'll buy it?
I'll be curious to see what all the supplementals are. I guess my purchase is dependent on what all they put on the disc. If it's pretty bare bones, yeah, I might just go ahead and rent it just to see it again. But if they put enough on there to make it worth buying, I'll buy it.
Okay. It's actually, once you get past, my personal opinion, once past the first 15 minutes, it's actually a pretty entertaining swords and sandal flick. Much better than Immortals, I'll tell you that. Carjacked is a Paul Walker stupid thriller, and that didn't even make theatrical release, so that tells you basically what it is. Meet the Browns is a Tyler Perry movie, so it's like every other Tyler Perry movie, which means a bunch of African Americans make jokes and make fun of white people. So, which one would you guys say is your purchase of the week? If you had to buy one, what would it be?
Super 8.
Is this really even a question?
Yeah.
Should be Super 8.
Okay. Mine too. Super 8. So we all three concur. Super 8 is a movie to get. And I can't say it enough. That was a really good family flick. So if you're looking for a movie to just sit on a couch and watch for Thanksgiving, that's a perfect one to watch. With that, those are the DVD Blu-ray releases. Next and final of the podcast is the Flashback DVD of the week. Every week we like to review or bring to light a unknown or little-known film that might be a little obscure by your taste and you might not have heard of. So hopefully we can recommend something you can take away from this podcast, go with you, and watch said film. This week, Brian is Mr. Flashback. So go ahead, sir. Sell your movie.
All right. My flashback this week is Green Street Hooligans from 2005. It stars Elijah Wood in one of his first movies post Lord of the Rings, I guess in an apparent attempt to shed his little cloak of Frodo. So he plays a wrongfully expelled Harvard student, and aren't they all? His name is Matt Buckner, and he goes across the pond over to London to visit his sister. Shortly after arriving, Matt gets pawned off on his brother-in-law, Pete, who's played by Sons of Anarchy's Charlie Dunham. You know him as Jax, the stepson of the president of Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, yep.
Pete and his friends begrudgingly kind of allow him to tag along for some pints and a football match. So they kind of split up, and Matt goes home or goes back to his sister's house, and while he's on the way there, he gets jumped by some rival hooligans, and Pete and his buddies come across him, help him out, and so they kind of had that little bonding moment. So Matt gets wrapped up in it, and he gets kind of sucked into the adrenaline-pumping hooliganism of football gangs. And these gangs of rival teams and stuff will just, there will be 50, 60 of these guys just marching down the street, just waylaying anything in their path. So it's, we, down here in the South, we take college football pretty seriously, and it gets pretty heated. And I know Packers and Bears is a pretty big rival. There's other sports teams. I know a guy just got stabbed out in San Diego last week. So, but it's nothing compared to these nuts. So, but anyway, he was, like I said, it's once a meek nerd from Harvard, Matt becomes a desensitized thug and becomes wrapped up in a vicious cycle of beers, balls, and brawls. So,
beers, balls, and brawls. I like that. So that's your recommendation?
No, that's not it.
Okay.
Well, my real recommendation is.
No, I actually have not seen that. That's one that I've seen on, I think it's Netflix. I think it's on Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
You can probably find it at Walmart and stuff too. If you probably just as cheap.
Okay.
At this point, it is on Amazon Prime.
We will definitely check that one out. That's one I've wanted to see, and I've almost watched several times. So, well, with that is the majority of our podcast. No emails or anything this week. There will be a special interview episode with Chambers Stevens that'll probably come out in the next few days. I'm not going to put it out the same night as this podcast because I want to give it a little breathing room. But I personally interviewed Chambers Stevens, who's a children's acting coach, and he is one of the founders of the Chamby Awards, which is an awards organization honoring young actors in Hollywood. And we had a nice long sit down that you guys can listen to here pretty quick. So I think it's a pretty interesting interview. Hopefully you'll enjoy it, and that'll be out in the next couple of days. So With that, I want to remind everyone that you can find us at thehollywoodoutsider.com. That is thehollywoodoutsider.com. We're available on Facebook at facebook.com/thehollywoodoutsider. Email us with any thoughts, concerns, ideas, topics, anything you want to do at feedback@thehollywoodoutsider.com, and also Twitter at @H_outsider. I am Aaron Peterson. I want to thank Justin McCumber, host of Dead Robot Society, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
You can also find his podcast at deadrobotsociety.com. Brian Williams, who's host of whatever, The Brian Williams Show.
Yeah. And you can find me at Twitter at Brian WMS. Hey, look, I've got nothing else to pimp. I might as well pimp my Twitter.
That's right.
I've only got like 3 followers anyway, so.
He's always looking for followers. And I am Aaron Peterson. Also, I am a guest host on the Official Thread podcast. And feel free to listen to that if you're in the video game. With that, we are the Hollywood Outsider. And the next time you go to a theater, make sure to buy popcorn.
Decision for me letting you go. No time to visit, I just wanna go home. You're unable to understand that I'm doing the best I can, and all I know is all I'd rather be home. I'd rather be home. I'd rather be home.
Eva Mendes.
Look at that ass. I would eat lunch off that ass.
I would just eat that ass.
I would.
Well, there's outtake number 1.
Oh, boy.
Fuck, I might just have to go for a minute.
Just
Something
like,
come up.
Can we take the break now?
And Brian, we're getting rid of the Jason Statham movie, so we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Brave instead.
Son of a bitch! I had like 2 pages of notes on that movie because it's so. Because
Son of a bitch!
This is a very deep movie. I mean, it's going to make The Matrix look like Charlie Brown.
Well, I mean, if it blows your house away, it blows your house away. There's really nothing you can do.
Well, I did, I did forget to put the parking brake on the wheels there. So.
What was Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Was your first date movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
First movie I took a girl to. Yep.
What was the first movie you took a guy to?
I was waiting for that.
Brokeback Baby. Gotta set the mood. I hate it when people talk shit about that movie because I love that movie.
You know what? I love Brokeback Mountain except for one thing.
The
okay.
spit.
What's that?
The spit?
No. No, that's not what. Wow. I don't know what to say now. And then they realize, oh, we got a connection. And then without even like building up to it, they just drop their pants and go to it. How are they going to just throw everything they've known? That doesn't happen. Seriously, I've been camping with guys. They might have had an epiphany at some point. I've never had any of them just drop their pants. Trust me, I've tried.
For me letting you go. No time to visit, I just wanna go home. And you're unable to understand that I'm doing the best I